You don't have to be a chess player to be a chess player, if you know what I mean. You may not understand the pieces, how they move. You might not know how the knight move, the rook move, the king, the queen, the bishop, or the pawns. You might not understand their movements, but playing chess in real life is still the same. You got to be on your square. You moving from square to square. And each piece moves differently for a different reason. And the game's usually over when the queen is trapped. She can't make any moves, right? She's what? Made it. So on a big level, at least under the rule of the patriarchy, it was all about getting the woman in the end. And it was so bad where status really had a lot of brothers going for the woman at the end, even in instances where the woman for them was putting their life in the beginning. They would still they would still have this projection of like a woman that's going to match the success level that they're headed for, instead of bringing the woman that they're with to that level from the level that they're on now. Have them chasing this thing, right? So now they get caught in this big trap, this big loop, this big paradox, because they keep pushing the future further and further away, never really bringing success and gratitude or whatever into the now, but just continuing to push it out further and further and further. And then it becomes this thing that you're chasing, like the ice cream truck, but there's an ice cream truck that you can never catch. That's how chess can be when you're playing human chess. Human chess is real. You know what I mean? You're the most important piece is never on the board. I'll say that again. In human chess, the most important piece is never on the board. It's the person that's moving the pieces that you got to watch as a person who's moving the pieces. See, two people that's playing chess, they're moving pieces around, but they're really playing each other. They're watching each other. You know, you're looking in that person's eyes. You're trying to see what they looking at, what kind of moves they trying to make. You might study their eyes. This is for the same reason why in poker, folks got their shades on. You know what I mean? They don't want you to see their eyes in a poker game. A lot of games, you know what I mean? You can read a person's solution in their eyes because the eyes will like give away certain things. They might be moving all over the board, just planning moves, and you see where they looking, you look to see where they looking, then they look to see that you look at where they looking, and now they got to re-strategize just based off of eye contact with the other person. This is analogous to social media content creators that are in a similar niche. They might look at each other, bounce energies off one another back and forth. And so one person is pushing the other person forward. Is iron sharpening iron, really? Because they might even have the same information. It's just packaged differently to different crowds, different people, even in the same niche. So with that, you still get this whole loop, this projecting loop. And what it's really doing is furthering you. It looks like a trap, but it's like the kind of circle that is more like ripples in the pond at a stone's throw. They are circles, deltas, cycles, but they're so expansive that eventually that circle, once it gets wide enough, it's gonna break. It's gonna break apart. So this is like what the ripples of the effect that you have on your life is. All your thoughts and actions. You're the stone's throw. You know, you're the stone's throw. So what do you do as the stone? You work with the circles that you're given. And based on the impact you make, is going to determine how many circles, right? How many different groups of people you influence. How many people you're able to influence, inspire, motivate, encourage, uplift, bless. If you're the bomb, upon explosion, you're going to have a shock wave. It's going to be a wave. You're going to have a wave. And a wave is just the same as they say in slang. It's a wave. Something for folks to ride. You're giving them a current. And now, if you just have one drop of material, it may not be enough for it to be a wave unless that one drop of material is, very, very impactful. But in the beginning, when you're building your empire, you're usually going to start brick by brick, hustle by hustle, employee by employee, strategy by strategy, trial and error, right? All the big companies have an R&D department, and that's a department that's dedicated to making mistakes. So don't be afraid to make them. But always be cautious when those mistakes cost anything. You want to calculate them. If the mistakes are going to be free and only cost you some time and effort, make all the mistakes. But the moment you look at something and you say, well, a mistake there can potentially cost me a lot of money, that's when you want to be very careful. That's when you want to be, I'm looking for another word. Is it apprehensive? Want to be hesitant and guarded, over things. So you don't want to rush into the opportunity. Now, if it's free, again, people want to make the word free bad because, we all want our empire. We all want our income. We all want, the money. We all want the wealth. We all want to survive, right? But this doesn't make free look bad. Free, giving away a lot of free stuff will make you rich eventually. How else is people going to know about you? And like, we like this. You could get rich off donations because you put a lot of free stuff out. Don't hate on the word free. Free means exposure. These are going to be mistakes that cost you nothing more than your phone bill, and you're using your phone for everything else. So this is not costing you anything additional. Is included in a lot of people's plans. These are free mistakes. This is the R&D department, which is called research and development. It's dedicated to making mistakes. So in human chess, you're getting the practice with the mistakes because you're going to have to master as many moves as possible on the board, because once you can do that, and with that is going to come however many mistakes and ways that your man can be knocked off the board, slid across on, cornered, trapped, jumped, captured. You're going to discover that in however many 100 different combinations. All of this is trial and error, is going into your research department so that you come out. It might look like you're a one-hit wonder, but nobody saw the 10,000 times that you had to fail in the background in order to be this big success in the foreground.